So in a previous video I showed you the purchase of our two new e-bikes with the fat tyres. Unfortunately they wouldn't fit on the bike rack that we had on the Caravan, so in this video I'm going to show you the modifications we've done to the bike rack and the new carriage we bought for our dog Princess Rewa. So stick around and we'll show you all those. Hi, I'm Darren.
I'm Shelley. We've chosen early retirement and a life of freedom, adventure and the unknown.
So for the next few years we're going to be travelling around our beautiful country of New Zealand in our Caravan, and then at a later stage some more overseas travel.
So subscribe and come along with us as we embark on our next adventure.
Yeah. So we'll just go out to the shed and have a bit of a look. So here's the new carriage we bought for Rewa. We decided that if we're going to be going away in the Caravan and taking both bikes with us, then it means that one of us has got to stay back at the Caravan unless we can take Rewa with us. So yeah, so this is what we've purchased for her. This was from a company in Motueka, and it's really good. It's absolutely fantastic, and she's taken to it quite easily, which I'm quite surprised about. It didn't take you very long at all to get used to it, and with a few treats and bits and pieces, now she rides all around town and it's no problem at all, which is very surprising for Rewa. But it's funny really. I think since she went missing for those 5 days, since she's been back, suddenly she goes swimming now, which she never really did before. She'd always only go in the water until she started to get a bit light on her feet and then chicken out and go back to shore, where now she'll swim right out in and around where we are in the water, you know, chest deep in water. Yeah, really surprising. And likewise, anything that moved used to scare her. Like she loves going in the ute whenever we go for a drive somewhere, but she always tends to lie on the floor in the back seat. That's where she feels most comfortable and where she likes to be. Where now she's often up on the seat in the back, and in this carriage here, no problems at all. She doesn't mind it moving around, and yeah, so this is going to be fantastic for us when we go away. Any bike trails or things, we can get out and do those and just bring her along with us. So absolutely fantastic. And yeah, still really enjoying our bikes. Really good. I'm so glad we purchased them, and like my bike here like tows this carriage like it wasn't even there. You wouldn't even notice it behind you. So yeah, really good. So yeah, because the bikes have got the fatter tyres on, these are like a 4-inch tyre. We tried to put them on our old bike rack and modify that a little bit so they'd fit, but it just didn't really work. So I ended up making up a new bike rack for the front of the Caravan, and which actually wasn't that hard to do, and not that expensive to do, and it's actually far superior to the bike rack we had on there, which used to wobble around quite a bit, and I used to end up putting a tie down over the middle of it all, and strap it down to the drawbar to stop it moving back and forward. So yeah, so this works so much better. I'm really happy how it came out, so I'll show you anyway. So the old bike rack we had on here was in relatively the same position, and you'll see under here it's still got the old aluminium hoop that goes around, and then it used to have an aluminium hoop that went up and across and down, and the bike rack and the bikes strapped to that middle middle hoop. In fact, I've probably got it around here. I'll see if I can find it. Hang on. Yeah, so this was the old setup we had. So it had this hoop through the middle that the bike strapped to, and then obviously the skinnier wheels went into these channels here, which used to bolt down onto the bottom hoop, which is under here. To be honest, it wasn't that flash of bike rack anyway. No matter how tight you had this thing done up, it would always move back and forward, and the bikes would rattle around, and it just, yeah, it really wasn't good. So I ended up I used to put a tie down strap from down here up and around this tube here, and then down onto the front of the drawbar to try and hold it firm, which worked, and that was fine. But then when you went to put a cover over the top of it, of course the strap was in the way on both ends, so it didn't really work very well at all. And we put up with it for sort of 3 years, and then yeah, and now with buying these 2 new bikes, it just makes well, it's just a good opportunity to do something about it, because the fat tyres just wouldn't fit in these channels anyway. So what I did, I basically took all the 2 channels off that were on there and the hoop off, and we're left with that bottom. There's a bottom hoop which runs around that way that everything used to bolt to. So what I did, I just went along to Bunnings and I bought 4 lengths of this L-shaped aluminium, and then all I've done is I've just cut it to the length I required, and riveted it together so that it'll fit our tyres of these new bikes. And then what I've done is I've just made a little ramp at the front there on each of them, so the front tyre can just run up into here, and it's held all nice and tight, and again just riveted a bit of plate on both sides. And then I just had a bit of hardwood decking lying around, so I bolted that to the frame underneath here, and then just screwed these to that bit of hardwood, and it's as solid as a rock. So that's how I've done these, nice and solid, way better than it was. And yeah, so they're set up so that the bikes go around different opposite ways to each other. Because the handlebars fold down, it means that one can fold at this side and one can fold at the other side, and they fit quite nicely that way. The other thing I've done is I've made up this new frame for the front of it. And again, this is far better than what we had. I feel so much more confident about having the bikes on there, knowing that they're not going to go anywhere. So this here I just welded up out of a bit of box section that I had lying around, and then it's just clamped on here. It's just clamped onto the drawbar with this one underneath, and so there's no drilling holes in anything, and it's absolutely solid as a rock. So it wasn't too hard to make. It was just a matter of sort of trying to think about how I was going to do it. But yeah, I'll show you how all that works. And then this bar that comes out here, this is what holds the bike, the first bike, up against this here. So anyway, I'll put them all on there, and I'll put both bikes on there and show you how it all works anyway. Yeah, so you see it certainly doesn't take that long to do. It's a lot easier than the old rack we had to put them on there, and they end up a lot more sturdy. They're absolutely, they're really solid. So they're certainly not going to go anywhere. Same with back and forward, they're nice and solid. And with the ability to fold the handlebars down like you can, it actually makes a really nice little package on the front, and the cover we put over it is a lot lower than it used to be, and it won't billow around in the wind so much. And actually what we found is the cover that we used to use for the front of this, which was an absolute nightmare to try and put on and take off, because it was elasticated around the bottom, and it used to billow in the wind, so you used to sort of wrap a long bungee around it, and it was just a real nuisance. What we found is the size of these here, with the two of them on there, fits our barbecue cover. So we modified that because we don't actually use it. So I'll put that on and I'll show you what it all looks like in the end. Yeah, so that's basically what it looks like with the cover on. So it'll certainly keep the bikes nice and dry, and it won't blow around anywhere near as much as the old cover did. And we've just got that secured with some Velcro straps, one halfway down and one at the bottom. Yeah, so I think it'll work out really well. I'll probably put I think I'll put an eyelet in here and just have a bungee down onto there too, just so the front can't billow up. But yeah, otherwise I think it'll work out really well. It's a lot more compact than our original bikes we used to have on here that we carved all around the South Island. So yeah, I'm really quite happy how it turned out, and it's not that hard to make. It's a good sort of project for a day or two to figure out, and yeah. So that's another job done. We're not planning on going away anywhere too far in the next few weeks. I don't know. We'll see how we go. We were looking at possibly heading up around the Coromandel region, but we'll just sort of see how those plans go, really. But yeah, thanks very much for coming along, and I hope this has helped someone out if they're wanting to make a bike rack for their fat tired e-bikes. So I'd also like to just give Robert and Nicola from Little Camper NZ a shout out too for giving our channel a bit of a bit of PR, if you like. Thanks very much for that, Robert. Much appreciated. If you haven't seen the Little Camper NZ YouTube channel, go over and have a look at that. It's really quite interesting. Robert's got a beautiful old Chev that he tows, a Lilliput, I think it's a Lilliput Caravan. So yeah, they've got some interesting stuff on there, so go over and have a look at that, and glad that Robert's enjoying his new e-bike. He bought one exactly the same as ours after the video I did on it, so glad you're enjoying it. Be nice to catch up one day too. So yeah, so go over and see their channel. Other than that, thanks a lot for coming along, and hope it helps everyone out with or anyone who's thinking about modifying a bike rack, or how they're going to fit a fat tired e-bike on the Caravan or something along those lines. So yeah, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.